How has online dating worked for you? I met a girl on Sparkslive when I was 17, Black Ops 2 to be specific. Ended up exchanging Instagrams and eventually phone numbers. She was in Texas and I'm in Washington. After about 6 months, we started to do long distance dating as we'd both taken an interest in one another until I realized that I was probably never going to meet her, so I broke things off after a few months. Apparently she didn't like that, so 2 days later, I came home from school and she's sitting on my front porch with her bags. She packed up her life and moved to Washington because she wanted to be with me. Ended up dating and living together for 3 years until she left me for another guy she met on Sparks on a game that I bought for her. LMFAO. Girl I met online I dated for a few months. Turns out she was temporarily separated from her husband. She started seeing another guy without anyone else knowing. I find out she was cheating on me and still married when the wife or girlfriend of the guy she was messing around with spray painted her car when she was caught at his house one night. The police called me to figure out where I was that night and told me she was married, but not to the guy she had been spending the night with. This was the same day my mother died. Not great. Highlights include the dude that kept texting me pictures of Hitler until I blocked him, several who got too drunk to stand, one who puked as I tucked him in and then called me a snotty bitch for not fucking him, and the guy who licked my face with no preamble on the ride home. Yeah, I'm done lol. I had a girlfriend on RuneScape a few years ago. That's the ultimate online dating. I've once saw a post of a man who had a girlfriend on Club Penguin years ago and now they're dating IRL. That's some next level online dating too. Back in 2016, I created an anon Twitter account as a place to blow off steam and rant about things I didn't want my current/future employers seeing. Wasn't looking to make friends and definitely wasn't looking for romance, but one day another anon made me one of my tweets with a message like OMG yes, I totally agree with this. We started talking about random topics and hit it off immediately. Over the next few weeks, we talked on the phone a lot, FaceTimed every night, and before either of us realized what was happening we were falling in love. People will argue whether you can fall in love with someone you've never met, but I can tell you that it's absolutely possible. One minor problem, I lived in South Georgia at the time and she lived over 1,000 miles away in Chicago. Another minor problem, both of our parents were absolutely opposed to us dating and did everything they could to keep us apart. She was a freshman in college and I was a sophomore at the time and both of us were still living at home, so that became a challenge. If you thought a long distance relationship was hard, try having a long distance relationship in secret. Her parents wouldn't let me visit her, and every time we tried to plan a trip to meet up things would fall through. After about 7 months of waiting, I did the craziest thing I've ever done. I got on a plane and flew to Chicago without telling anyone where I was going or telling her that I was coming. I called her from the O'Hare airport and nearly gave her a heart attack. Her parents somehow agreed to let her come see me after loading her purse with mace and pepper spray, and we spent an incredible few days laughing together and falling more in love than we thought possible. Amazed that I would go to that much effort to date their daughter, her parents eventually relented and gave us their blessing. We continued to date long distance, and in October 2018 I dropped to one knee on the Chicago waterfront and asked her to marry me. She said yes and made me the luckiest man alive. Fast forward to May 2019. I packed up my life and drove 14 hours straight with my golden retriever to start a new life in Chicago with a girl I love. Adjusting to Chicago has been a challenge for this dead southerner, but it's worth it, and I'd do it all again in a heartbeat. When the stars align and fate brings an incredible woman into your life, you don't give up on her just because she lives 1,000 miles away. If you made it this far, thanks for putting up with my rambling. Hopefully this inspires you not to give up on love. Rarely match when I do get a couple messages back and forth of pleasantries and getting to know then ghosted. Every time. Never gotten a date with anyone from online. Assuming you're a male, since I've had many similar experiences, but have you seen what an even moderately attractive woman's Tinder app looks like? I was hanging with basically a FWB who was pretty much an absolute mess and cute but not bangin' hot, and she kept getting Tinder notifications, so she opened the app and I expressed curiosity at what women's Tinder looks like, and it was like when you see a friend's mail app need push notifications in the thousands. Like holy fuck, all I see are red notifications all the way down. It's probably less about you and more that these women have so many options. The odds of any one person keeping their interest goes down. I was invited to a gangbang. Too bad the girl never showed up. Still had sex though. There's definitely more to the story here. One of them tucked their junk in between their legs and took the role of the girl. Another pretended to be the husband who just happened to come home early. Another two pretended to be stepbrothers. Really emotional story this. Well, it works. I've been on 4 dates via Tinder and 1 date via Bumble. Problem is, either I have bad luck or I'm just an idiot. Date 1 puked on me and tried to make out with me naked in a hallway covered in vomit. Date 2 went psycho and started to stalk me and even found out where I worked. All this because I wouldn't help her steal a gosling from a petting zoo. Date 3 pretty sure it was a setup to rob me. Date 4 uneventful, but we realized we didn't click well. No craziness, a nice woman. We were just in different places in life. Date 5 Bumble, met in person, and she said I was too short for her. I'm 6'1", she was 4'11".